I have a friend, let's call him Sondre, because that's his name. Sondre lives in Germany with his girlfriend and he runs a YouTube channel. In his last video, he tries to tidy up his basement. And as a surprise to his girlfriend, he wanted to build a big shelf to tidy up this space. To be able to flip this, he needs to rotate it, and the basement is tiny. This is a lot of explanation. In the folklore in Germany, there is a creature, a spirit called a cobalt. The cobalt was a spirit, a small human-like creature that lived in basements and mines and quarries and underground areas. If you did good things to it, it will treat you good. But if you mistreated the cobalt, or as Sondre did, made a mess in the space where the cobalts live, they got a bit mischievous. So they could do bad things to you. Either just spook you, or it could also make stuff not work that well. Generally be a bit of a pain in the behind. To sum it all up, I want to make a model of Sondre's basement, with Sondre struggling with his shelf project, and small house spirits, these kobolds, sabotaging his work. But he couldn't see them because the kobolds, they have the ability to go invisible. And then I have a plan to send it to Sondre and see what he thinks of it. I've been studying Sondre's video quite thoroughly now and trying to understand a bit of the sizes of the space we're working with. He talks about the shelf being 2 by 1.5 meters long, which means that the longest direction is the diagonal, 2.5 meters. The space that the shelf is in should be less than 2.5 meters. I'm building this out of extruded polystyrene in 1 to 20 scale. I should probably reinforce my glue joints with some kind of wooden dowels. I think I'm gonna prime it with some black primer, and this is airbrush primer, but I'm just gonna use a brush. So I'm just gonna slop on quite a lot, and then I'll put on some sand and see what happens. I'm just gonna do too much and then I can get rid of some of it. Maybe that could also be the finished texture. I mean, this looks really good. It looks almost like the plaster from the basement. And I've been testing with this scraper and it seems to be working quite well, just to sort of wear it down a bit. I decided to seal the sand into the model with some airbrush medium. I'm trying to be as gentle as possible to keep some of the cool textures that I got from the sand application. And it looks to be quite bright in the basement. Cover it a bit with some really wet paint to make this sort of patchy, moldy kind of atmosphere. Sondre builds his shelf with 2x4s. I've chosen some strips that are about 2mm by 4mm and some spruce veneer for the shelves. Boop, 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 boop. And I've finished the shelf. The next is I want to add some of the pipes that go behind the wall. I have these paper straws that I can use for the straight parts, but I also need to make some kind of bends for the twisty turny parts. I think I'm going to just make some bends from this. I could also make the bends like a circle and then cut pieces, but I think this will work. How many do I need out of the wall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just make a bunch and we'll see. And my experiments of doing pipe pieces seems to be working quite well. I'm gonna test one now and see how it looks. Yesterday I tried to make the monsters that are scaring Sondre without him knowing. And as happens sometimes when you do creative projects, everything slowly but surely fell apart. The problem is the monster, the creature. And yesterday I started by thinking maybe because I want this to be a small monster, I should 3D print the head. So I 3D printed some heads and I made several of them. I even made a body for one of them. Tiny, goblin-like cobalt. Is it any fun? Should I 3D print? Well, how should I make the body look better? I made this sort of comical pillowcase wrapped goblin dude. And he's kind of fun, he has some charm, but there's something with the proportion and the scale that it just didn't look right for me. So I made this one. He could have expression, he could be hiding somewhere. And I tried to put clay on him once with air drying clay, I gave up. Did it one more time, gave up, smashed the model. And then I thought, well, okay, I have clay that's not air drying. I have the Fimo, the one that you bake. And I almost got it. It was so close. And then I started to shape his face. And again, everything fell apart. I sort of gave up. I sort of felt that it's the wrong day. Maybe it's the wrong kind of monster. I was a bit tired maybe. And then as a final struggle to do something that I could say I made something that I can use, I formed some loose bits, some heads and some bodies. And I made a bunch of generic looking limbs, twisted pieces that could be an arm, could be the start of a foot. I think I'll just try to glue these together and see what happens. Maybe this creature isn't anything I've seen before. I think that's creative work sometimes. Things do fall apart and you feel like you try and nothing happens. You feel like everything looks bad or the clay doesn't behave. The good thing about having pieces that are already formed, shaped, is that the creature sort of appears when I mount it and I can't control precisely how they look. And I think that's creatively that's more interesting. Now like this guy is sort of pointing or maybe he's holding over the edge of something. This triggers my creative brain. Yeah, it's a fun foot. Where to put it? Maybe it should be here. I guess it's impossible to do this work without having some ups and downs. I think I'm getting better at identifying when the down is because I'm doing something wrong, if it's because I'm tired, or it's generally just a bad idea, because we do have those, right? Yes, we have bad ideas all the time. This is far more creepy than anything I would have been able to make by myself. I think I'll leave the limbs a bit like pieces. No, oh no. Watch your fingertips when you play with super glue. Maybe short feet for this guy. And this guy, he will probably be hanging up in the corner or something, looking just creepy. Should they get faces? Some feature, or just be creepy like this? I think I found the perfect eyes. Black, what do you call this? Pin needles? I tried with some red, a bit of a Heath Ledger Joker vibe, and I think I'll probably add some teeth in here. And I might also do something with red on the tips of the arms. It's almost too creepy. Is it too much? Well, it's a lot at least. I guess for anyone that's come here to watch cute frog videos, sorry. This is also part of what I make, I guess. Well, now it is. Nah, too much. I think I want them to be more human-like. Good luck with that. Boop, boop. That is horrifying. One big happy family. So this is Sondre. He's a bit skinny. Let's see if we have 2 pieces. About this length. An arm, 2 arms. Let's twist these together. Bit of a hip. Hippity hop. This as his head. Kill me! And I think this will make it a lot easier to wrap some clay around the armature. That's my hope, at least. Knee, leg, and strike a pose. Now Sondre is 180. That suits him really well. That's a good start. Let's add some clay to him. I'm just gonna smoosh clay around on this thing. I think I'll just fill the gaps first, let it dry, and then I can put another layer around it or on top of it. I think I'll just prime most of Sondre black, because then it's easier to see if I need to add shapes, some kind of thickness or details, because now he looks a bit like a zebra mummy. I actually quite like the weird texture that the wire and the clay gives on him. I want to give Sondre a hat. His yellow cap should be on. Okay, and while it's still damp from the first gluing, I think I'll be able to form this a bit more like a cap. His face is sort of missing, and that's a good thing, because then I can add his nose, his eyes, and some features in his face without losing the proportions of the rest of the figure. So there's sort of a mouth here, I guess, and his eyes should be here, sort of. And then he has a nose. Now Sondre looks like an old man, and he is not an old man. He is young and sprightly. And Sondre is struggling, so I guess his mouth should be a bit like, ooh, lifting heavy things. I actually think I found the thumb inside of the hand. That's convenient. I'm adding some blue to the skin color, because usually the face is sort of bluish because of the hair on the chin, reddish over the cheeks, nose and ears, and yellowy more towards the top. And the top is because the bone is so close to the surface of the skin, so it sort of shows more clearly. His hair is also sort of yellowy blonde. So I think I'll more or less exaggerate the eyes, make them almost all white, because I think it's too small to really show detail. You can look a bit crazy. I think that's just fun. I'm giving Sondre some teeth. He looks crazy. That is fun. And I think this color is, it's a bit more dark yellow green, just to make sure that we can see the hat. I'm making it a bit more light. I guess I have to figure out how to put Sondre and the shelf in first. At some point in the video he actually is stuck inside the shelf. I think this position will be perfect. Yeah. Because that also shows when this is in. And then I can have the small critters all around. And this guy, he's hanging here. Now this guy is probably holding here, maybe up there. Creepy cute. I have included the light that you can see in the basement, and I had to make a battery pack for this. This battery pack is 3D printed, and the on-off switch is just this loop that goes onto this fork. And it's not legal to send batteries by post, so I'll have to take these ones out and let Sondre know that he needs to get some. I've also added a small skull that is attached to this loose wall. Maybe the last tenant didn't treat the cobalts right either and ended up in this corner. So then I guess all I need to do is pack this really well and throw it over to Sundre.
Thank you, Andreas. What a mess. Are you serious? That's fantastic. I mean, this is literally me with the little monsters. I hope it survived the drop from Norway to Germany. If not, I will provide a video on how to build it quite soon. Your YouTube buddy. Thanks, buddy. Okay, so I've tried to put in the batteries. Ah! Oh, look at that. With a light. This is fantastic. Harry, thank you so much. I don't know what to say. I was already sure I would never forget this experience, but now I am positive. Make sure to watch out in your mailbox. That's a heart. Hallo?